Previously on America's Next Producer.
Well, you're going to take a little step into my world.
Our challenge is to produce a 2-minute pre-game package for the Los Angeles Avengers.
So I know nothing about sports. I don't know anything about football.
You know nothing about football? Let me get a piece of it.
He ripped the camera out of the gun.
How should we do this?
I'm doing this completely on my own now, so I am feeling a little overwhelmed.
Congratulations. Gwen,
Great.
you are moving on to the final challenge. So, Jessica, we felt like we wanted to see more, so you're both moving on. We'll have 3 pitches for the final challenge.
This is wonderful.
3 professional producers are competing for the opportunity to show America that they are the next big television producer.
Beautiful. Got that?
The winner will receive an exclusive first-look deal with TV Guide Network, office space in Hollywood, a Final Cut editing package from Apple, $100,000, and the right to call themselves America's Next Producer.
Most people don't know what a television producer does.
Am I looking at you or in the lens?
The producer controls everything.
Can you just repeat that?
It starts with an idea.
It's about management.
Getting the best out of your team. I have to bring it in on time and on budget.
TV producing is all about personality.
Creativity.
Planning, shooting.
Egos.
Planning, shooting, editing. A lot of pressure.
I'm absolutely better than them.
Oh, that's a good one.
You are looking at America's Next Producer.
I can't believe how far we've come and that it's Zoe, myself, and Gwen. Like, I just have this calm thing over me that, like, I'm gonna win.
I am so excited about being in the final 3. There's so much at stake right now. It's the final hurdle before the last big thing.
I'm very grateful to God and have met my expectations of making the final 3. Now it's about right here, right now, focusing and executing down the stretch.
Good morning, guys. And congratulations to all of you for avoiding elimination in that last challenge.
Thank you.
You did great work, and all 3 of you deserve to be here. So as you know, for the final challenge, you must produce a presentation for your dream TV series. But before we allow you to do that, you're gonna have to do what every other producer in this industry has to do. Pitch it. Now you're gonna be pitching David Hill, Matt Roush, myself, and a very special guest, David NEVINS, the president of Imagine Television, producers of Shark, Friday Night Lights, and the Emmy Award-winning series 24 and Arrested Development.
I'm blown away. This is like amazing to me that we're actually gonna get a chance to pitch show ideas to an industry heavyweight like Mr. NEVINS.
Okay, here's how it's gonna work. We wanna hear 2 ideas, one for a scripted show and one for a show of your choice. Now, I know you came here with ideas about what you wanted to do already, so you'll have 2 hours here to prepare, and then you'll head over to David's office at Imagine, where you're gonna pitch your show ideas.
Just the opportunity to pitch to him is a pretty big deal.
Gwen, you won the last challenge, so you get to decide the order of the pitches. Who is gonna pitch first, second, and third?
Let's go. Zoe, Jessica, and then myself. I decided to make Zoe go first because maybe by the time they get to us, they'll completely forget about anything he said.
All right, one more thing. Only 2 of you will move forward into the final challenge. Your ability to sell your ideas to David and the rest of us will determine which 2 get to do the actual presentation for their dream TV series.
Everything I did led me to here. So it's definitely overwhelming, to say the least.
All right, your 2 hours starts now. I'll see you at Imagine. Have fun.
Imagine. I'm pitching 2 different genres, one reality and one scripted. For the scripted version, I'm gonna do a show built around the cable access facility, kind of like a modern-day WKRP. My second show, the reality show, is called Exposure. the search for the next great photographer. When you pitch a show, you're going to a television executive and you're asking them to give you millions of dollars to do your project. They just might have a few questions before they write that check. And so I intend to be as prepared as I possibly can.
In researching David Nevins and Imagine Entertainment, it became clear to me that they are primarily scripted television. So I decided to focus on 2 scripted pieces. My idea for the first show that I pitched is going to be a newsroom drama. The second of the pieces is a sitcom based around a 6-year-old boy living the Playboy life in Las Vegas.
Zoe and Gwen are like, doot, 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 like just going around like it's every day that you have to pitch something like this. And I'm literally like, how the hell am I gonna do this? I had a couple ideas, but I don't know if I have something that's gonna be like, wow. You guys ready?
Yep, let's go. At the end of this 2 hours, I feel great. You know, it's tough just to get somebody to hear a pitch in this town. And son of a gun, I'm going to Imagine Entertainment. As far as I'm concerned, this is all or nothing.
Hello. Hey. We're here to see Mr. Nevins.
Yes, David is expecting you.
Thank
Follow
you.
me.
Excellent. All right, ladies.
Good luck.
Thank you. So I don't know if Gwen was strategic or what, saying that she wanted me to go first. It probably was. It doesn't bother me. I'm gonna bring such passion to my pitch that whether I go first, second, or third, Mr. Nevins will say, here's somebody I want to go into business with. Thank you so much. Greetings.
Hi, Zoe.
So, how you doing? All right. Welcome. Pleasure.
Hiya.
David, Ananda, Matt, how are you? Excellent. I have 2 things to pitch for you. One is a reality show, and the other one is a scripted show. Which would you like to hear first?
Scripted show.
Yes, sir. The name of the scripted piece is called Push Play.
Okay.
It is the story of this motley group of people who, for the moments that they have when they're at public access, have access to the airwaves. They can be stars, they can be producers, they can be directors, and it's a wonderful way for them to escape from their otherwise non-glamorous lives. Take WKRP in Cincinnati and combine it with Taxi and make it about cable access. And that's pretty much my show. It's really about the freedom of speech, the free exchange of ideas, and cable access just has to be
I mean, I'm
in
not
place.
sure that I personally sort of buy that. We live in an era where anybody can put their sort of videos up on the web, and it seems if you have something to say, you want to get it heard. It feels to me like you got a much better chance of getting it heard putting it on YouTube or MySpace or something like that. I feel like it's a little esoteric.
Okay.
Yeah.
A little dated. It would have worked 10 years ago, but what they're doing with the website is probably far more important than what they're doing on the cable access.
I understand what local access is, but it doesn't really impact me that much.
Right. They basically put on some football cleats and just jumped all over Push Play and stomped it into the ground, leaving it a bloody heap, whimpering for mercy. I just said, okay, well, that didn't work.
Do you have a second idea?
Absolutely.
I'm very curious to hear.
Okay. Out of my love of photography comes the idea for the show, Exposure, the Next Great Photographer. Exposure, simply put, is a show looking for the next great photographer, bringing together photographers from all over the country, both pro and amateur. We want to paint a picture of what it is to be a photographer.
Right. So what do the contestants do?
They come together and they're given a series of challenges.
So it's a format very similar to the show.
Yes. You can be a wedding photographer.
So what are some of your challenges?
To be sent to 3 different weddings and to get the 3 best shots.
To get the best wedding challenge. Weddings make for good television.
Absolutely.
What I like about this, it's the most democratic art form there is. Everybody can be a photographer.
Yes. When I got into the pitch for Exposure, there seemed to be genuine interest in it.
Keep going.
It starts with a dream. I remember the first time I took my first photo, it was with a little disposable camera that I got at a Walgreens, and somebody just happened to look at how I lined up a shot and said, oh, you should be a photographer. And that's all it took for me to think, wow, maybe I could. And then I started reading about Gordon Parks, who is like my grandfather, an amazing man as a photographer. And
he died last year?
Yeah.
So you actually know Gordon Parks?
I had dinner with Gordon.
Yeah.
And he put his hands on my shoulders and said I was the future.
That's nice.
So this show would be something of a homage to a man who took a camera into a world that didn't want him and made his living. I'm sorry.
Gordon Parks is a hero of mine, and I think knowing that his inspiration is what had gotten me into that room just overwhelmed me. It was like, you know, I stuck to my dream. Look how far I've come. I've been trying to break into this town for a very long time, but it's hell for a white guy. Imagine what it's like for a black guy. And I think it was the culmination of all those things that evoked the emotions from me.
Coming up on America's Next Producer.
Maybe it's the plethora of lifeless, sorry. Like I couldn't even speak. I don't know what happened to me.
Ironically, the protagonist is...
Why don't you call it the Playboy of Sin City? That sounded catchier to me.
I haven't gotten to the point yet.
All right. I got a little emotional during my pitch. It's a tough room.
Really?
No.
It's a tough room.
Who's the toughest?
Oh, Mr. Nevins.
Yeah?
He's no joke.
Okay, Jessica?
Yeah.
Would you like to follow me?
Go get him. All right. All right. It's yours.
I was tense. I have no idea how I'm gonna walk in and trying to convince him that the show that I made up 2 hours ago is the best thing that's ever hit the streets.
Hello, Jessica.
Hi,
Very nice to meet you.
Jessica. Nice
Welcome.
to meet you. Hi, guys.
Hi.
The last time I spoke in public was like 11th grade public speaking class, and that didn't go too well. So I definitely felt like I was gonna throw up, like I had like this surge of like vomit. So I have my pitches. Do we just start, or?
Do you have one that you want to go first, or can I choose?
You can choose, it's okay.
I want to hear a scripted one first.
Okay. So the show is called Welcome to Haggerty's, and it's a sitcom, sort of scripted and improvisational, kind of like Curb Your Enthusiasm, based on the characters that work in a department store. You know, the way I put it is, it's like The Office meets Cheers. It's about personalities, really. Maybe it's the plethora of lifeless mannequins dressed in their Sunday's best, or perhaps it's the overwhelming smell of cheap perfume. I started reading, and I was reading a little fast, like I couldn't even speak. So that was really horrible and embarrassing. I don't know what happened to me.
So who's your main character?
I have a bunch of main characters. Basically, I want to treat it like Lost, where you don't see all the characters every week, and I'll get into them. Meet LaShawn Syrup Jones, because his rhymes are sweet and his beats stick. Then we have Gerard, who was inspired by the movie Mannequin. His whole life, he wanted to work with mannequins, so he talks to them sort of how you would talk to a plant or a loved one who's in a coma, hoping that the sound in his voice will spark something inside them and they'll come alive.
Okay, and who else?
Okay. I actually felt confident about my ideas once I got them out. I think they loved the characters. They were laughing, and they were like really engaged when I was describing all the characters to them. There was just like this good vibe going on.
I actually think your characters are instantly recognizable and good and funny. But the idea of a small-town department store sounds a little bit dated. So I feel like it needs a real twist.
When you mentioned Lost, the other thing I like about Lost is that it's not the same show every week.
Yeah, well, that's what it is. It's different. It's like different shows within the show.
So you see it would have a different tone some weeks.
Overall, I think, you know, Welcome to Haggerty's did really well. You know, they just told me that the idea and the concept was there. I just have to try to keep it fresh and current, just something to give it an edge and make it stand out.
Okay.
Okay.
Should we hear about your unscripted idea?
So it's called Back to Reality, and it's my life after reality TV. Back to Reality is a half-hour docu-reality show following around the lives of ex-reality stars. You know, doing
So what is it? Is it turning them around, making them celebrities again?
It could be. My tagline is, maybe, Back to Reality will rekindle their 15 minutes of fame, or perhaps it's, to finally put the stardom thing to rest.
So it's following them. You don't really have a format yet.
Not really.
It's sort of Where Are They Now? There was that show they used to do.
It's sort of like Where Are They Now?
There have been so many of these kinds of shows. The surreal life exists in that area. I feel like there's an entire network devoted to this kind of show. To sell this show, you need a very clear and unique angle. I'm not hearing it yet.
Thank you, Jessica.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thanks a lot. All right. When I walked out of the hallway, I felt a little nervous. I've never done a formal pitch, so we'll see.
Hey.
Hi.
How was it?
It was good. It was all right. They had some questions. Now you're going.
Hi, Gwen.
Hey, hi.
Right. Are you ready to follow me?
Sure.
Having delivered a couple of pitches to the judges on this show already, I think I do know what it takes to deliver a good pitch. I have confidence that I communicate very clearly.
Hello.
Hey. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
Welcome.
My first pitching session, I must admit.
It's not scary. If you don't mind, I'm going to keep asking lots of questions.
Okay. So I've got two things to pitch to you.
Okay.
Both scripted. One sitcom, one drama.
Coming from the scripted world,
yeah,
I'm very happy to hear two scripted shows.
I was hoping that that would ring some bells for him, and it did.
A little bit about me. I have been a journalist, a TV journalist for the last 4 years. So what I'm pitching to you right now is Live at 10.
Okay.
An hour-long television newsroom drama series, basically following the 10 key players that put on the news live at 10.
Do you know why journalism shows have traditionally not worked?
I actually don't.
The traditional reason why networks are wary of it, why it doesn't work, is because the belief is that journalists don't actually get involved in the story. They just report the story, they stand next to the story. But it is a very hard sell. You have to know that.
Right.
It caught me really off guard when David told me that a newsroom drama is very hard to do.
Well, I'm curious about the tone, because there have been newsroom ensembles, both newspaper and TV, a bunch that haven't lasted very long. So what's going to make this one pop?
Basically, I want to tell both the story of how news is gathered and the way it's communicated and the flow of information, but also the story of these 10 key players and the way that they...
I don't think you can do a show with 10 main characters, at least not. That's too much for an audience to follow initially.
Okay.
I thought that I had a very strong idea, and I wasn't so sure about that anymore. So going into my second pitch, I felt really, really nervous.
Tell us about your second idea.
So I'm not a straight man, but I would imagine that any straight man's dream might be to be the playboy of Sin City, knowing every dealer, bartender, doorman, and
What's your title?
The title is Playboy Playtime. But ironically, the protagonist is...
Why don't you call it the Playboy of Sin City?
Playboy of Sin City?
Yeah, isn't that what you said before? That sounded catchier to me.
I haven't gotten to the point yet.
Okay,
Protagonist is a 6-year-old boy growing up.
What? He's what?
6-year-old boy.
Okay.
Growing up in Las Vegas. His mother is, a big performer at the GWEN. They live there in the penthouse. Basically, he's surrounded by a big cast of really nutty characters.
What's his problem? What's his issue? What's his comedic?
What's his comedic? Well, there is none. He's 6 years old.
No, but if he's going to be your lead character, he has to have a very clearly defined comic issue.
So he...
I like this idea a lot. I don't feel like you've...
I haven't
But what I'm looking for is a greater sense of the characters and the character relationships. That's what makes good comedy. You got to get specific about what that is.
Okay.
They liked the idea, but my story was missing a few key elements. And my confidence didn't really disappear, but it just kind of flatlined.
All right, sweetie, thank you.
All right. Thanks again for having us.
Very well done. Provocative ideas. It's good. Thank you.
Overall, I felt good coming out of my pitch session, but I don't know how to compare that at all with Jessica's pitch session or with Zoe's.
I feel like I've been rode hard and put away wet. So let's go.
We have to head back to the workspace for the final judging. The stakes are so high at this point. Elimination now, I mean, we are so close to the end. This is it. one person is going home and 2 are staying, and I think at this point it's anyone's game.
Coming up.